watch the recording back. So welcome to volunteer kickoff. I'm going to share my screen and show you a few slides. I won't bore you with slides, I promise. So today we're celebrating Bhumi. So we got our community got busy the last 4 weeks with Bhumi, visualizing their information. So that's something we strive as a community is helping non-for-profits or empowering non-for-profits. So I hope we helped a little bit, and I hope we can help a bit more. But that's what we love doing is helping non-for-profits. So you can use data to drive some change. Quick agenda. I'm only going to talk for 5 minutes. The time is really for the 4 volunteers, and then you and Anusha can give feedback and then have a bit of a Q&A. So we got 4 volunteers that Anusha selected. As a quick kind of debrief, we had 16 submissions total. Very good depth of submissions, equaling to about 400 hours of volunteering services. We know that our volunteers spend usually 20-25 hours on average per project. So I think it's a lot of time, which is roughly about $20,000 US as a service we provide. What I like about our project is we often have first-timers. So 85% of our volunteers this project were first-timers of never did the project before, which is cool. And then what I always love is we got so many different tools that people use. Tableau, Power BI, Looker. Some people use Google Sheets. So it's always amazing to see so many good submissions from our volunteers. What I also love is watching the collaboration on Slack. It's always amazing to see volunteers submitting their work and others getting feedback, sending feedback, or people helping each other. So the collaboration on Slack is really amazing. So I don't know if people are online, but I know Denise from the community, Valerie, Sarah, I think have also helped a lot, sharing their wisdom as well and sharing the feedback with volunteers. And I think, Anusha, you got a lot of feedback also you can share with volunteers. So today you're going to be sharing the feedback about the 4 volunteers, but we've got a Google Sheet full of feedback as well we can share a bit later. So if you're interested also, we can maybe we can share feedback a bit later. So the way it works, it's pretty simple. As I said, we've got 4 volunteers presenting their work. So I've put that in order, Santhosh, Shreya, Elena, Sujan, but if you got time constraint and you need to leave early and we can swap the order. So I just put that randomly. So you tell me if you need to leave early and then I'll put you first. So let me know as soon as possible, but that order is not in order, it's just random order. So usually we have 8 to 10 minutes each. So you share your screen and basically you're explaining your data story to us, to Anusha. You design choice if you find some interesting insight. And then Anusha can give you feedback after the submission, or maybe we wait for the 4 and then we do after the QA. So it's really up to us to decide. Anusha, do you prefer if we do the comment after each submission? Is that probably easier, isn't it?
Yeah, because I have my notes, but it'll be relevant if I give the feedback immediately. I'll try to keep it short.
Cool. Yeah. So I think we'll do that. So we got the volunteers one after the other, and then we got the feedback after. And obviously, if people in the call are keen to ask questions, we can do that after the submissions as well, after the presentations. So 4 volunteers each, 8 to 10 minutes. We got an hour, so I think that should give us plenty of time, feedback, and then we can talk about the next step and the next project as well, which is this one. But that's my spiel. So Santhosh, you want to start with sharing your screen and your presentation, please?
Yes, I will do.
And I mute myself. So Santhosh, you're calling us from India?
India, Karnataka.
India, cool. So first timer as well, you never participated before, so welcome to the community.
Thank you, everyone.
So I'll let you share your screen, and then you got the microphone, so you can tell your story and your dashboard.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, is it visible?
Yeah, we can see it now. Cool.
So, hello everyone. My name is Santhosh, and I am from India, Karnataka. So, as we all know, Bhumi is doing a great work here by doing their volunteering and social impact programs. So, I believe this is a small contribution from my side to their mission. And Data Chain Makers is also a truly acts as a bridge between data enthusiasts and social impact organizations. Yeah, my this is my first project with this team, and if I make any mistakes, please excuse me during my presentation. Okay, now I will go to the presentation. So my report is designed in that way. This is divided into 5 sections. We can easily access these sections using these navigation buttons. And one more thing, all the whole project is made in Power BI as a primary tool. So in each section, we can see the in different visuals and different insights. In the home section, I gave a little bit introduction about Bhumi and their work and some other pictures related to the work. So in the volunteering overview, I just put all the volunteering data, that is civic data and corporate data. I incorporated both into a single page. And in every page, we can see the filter button here, filter pane. We can customize our view, or we can filter out any categories here. This is pretty less space consuming, and this is user friendly also. So in volunteering, the data is pretty straightforward, as the team told, because the there is minimal data cleaning required. So I directly loaded the data into the Power BI directly, and then I do some data transformations and data cleaning, or I created custom columns and created custom tables also. This is also very a good approach, because even if we in the future any new data is updated to the files, then all the visuals easily get updated automatically without affecting the design or any visuals. So in the first, while analyzing the data, I noticed that both civic data and corporate data are similar in information. But in corporate data, we have some extra information also there, like CSAT information, event type, and other information also. So we can't directly combine both the data into a single table. So I decided to make major outcomes or major visuals in a single page. So I decided to combine the civic data and corporate data by city, categories, array, and participant age, volunteering hours, distribution time, and duration category. These are categories present in both the data. So I combine both of them, and I will a little bit grouping also I will done, like these categories, event categories. This is the only present in civic data, like community welfare, environment, in the cause field. But in corporate data, we don't have this categorization. So I combine the both the data and the include all the events into a single categories. These categories. So it is easily visualize, and easily we can see the insights. And also for participation range and volunteering hours, duration categories, there are direct values are there for each and each. We can't show every value in the visuals. So I decided to make some categories over there also. For we can see that for participation range, I make small scale, micro, based on the participant numbers. Like here, micro, it only categorizes the 0 to 25 volunteers, and the small scale like this, medium scale and large scale like this. And also make the volunteering hours as a micro contribution. In the contribution type, I make the volunteering hours like 0 to 100 hours, 101 to 300, small contribution, medium contribution, large contribution. And also here categories, 1 minute. In duration also, we, like all the events are falls between within the 24 hours. So I decided to make short, half day, full day, and extended, or quick one with less than 30 minutes. So like this, I made a custom categorizations to easily interpret the data and easily visualize the data. So in the civic volunteering, all the visuals are same structure like we see in the volunteer overview, but only difference is it is only targeting or only focusing on civic data. So if we filter any of the categories, we only it only showing the civic data only. With other than that, there is no much extra information in civic data. So I decided to limit these visuals also. In the corporate volunteering data, we can see pretty much extra information also. So I decided to make two views, Insight 1, Insight 2. In Insight 1, all the visualization are similar to previous one. But in Insight 2, we can extra information also there, like event implementation type, event type, CSAT status, and implementer's name, corporate partner name. Like these are also important fields. So I decided to make it in the different view without affecting the normal design. So if we select any of these filters, it filters both the view, like Insight 2 and Insight 1. It will filter out both the views. One more thing, if now filter pane is hidden, so how we know which category is filtered or not? So if we hover on the button, we can see the active filters, event type, event implementer. Also, this is the number, which active filter number this is also. So this is about corporate volunteering. And in the final page, impact and outcomes, I decided to make all the outcomes for every event, which falls under same table or same view. To do that, but in the data, all the outcomes and their quantities are spread out through several fields, several columns. So I decided to merge all them into a single category. So I created a custom table and for outcomes. So these all bold characters are event names, and these are all the outcomes. These are the quantities. We can easily see here all the data in the one view. And here in this chart, I only showcase the outcome distribution based on their quantity or their output. So if we click on any output, it automatically filter out the events, which outcome is from. We can easily interpret the events also. Also, we can use filter button for more insights here also. And if we do hover on any insight, we can also get a detailed overview like total volunteering, total volunteers, total volunteering hour. These are the and yes, these are the visualization I made, and yes, this is my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Santhosh, well done. Did you say that was the first time you're presenting in public?
Yes, this
you
is
did
my
well.
first time.
Amazing. You did very well. So you're a natural. Amazing design. I really love the design and the way it's organized. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And Anusha, you want to start with your comment, and maybe we got a couple of minutes for the other people as well if they want. But Anusha, I'll leave you.
Yes. Yeah. So first of all, Santhosh, thank you so much for the time and effort invested in showcasing Bhumi's work that happened last year. So one thing that really struck me about the presentation is how many axes of comparison you have explored. So basically, it is interesting for every level and for different people who are trying to look at different aspects of the volunteering, right? Some might be interested in when I should organize certain events, or what should be the size of my volunteer pool, or how long should the event be. You have explored all of these axes, so the ability to see the data in through all of those lenses and to drill down further to understand more. There's something for everyone, right down to the person who's implementing an event on the ground to a senior leadership person who's looking at what kind of events should we do more, when should they be done, those kind of making those kind of decisions. So I really like that about your presentation. And like the separation of civic and corporate where it made sense, but also merging the data where it made sense. That also was very helpful, and showing the difference in green and saffron, which is Bhumi's colors. That also is a very nice touch. So thank you so much for that. And like I said, the ability to zoom in and zoom out is something that really helps, because if you're having a discussion about the broader level volunteering strategy, this would be very, very helpful for us. The only feedback I had is that one of the goals of the project was to showcase the outcomes to our volunteers in a way that they find very inspiring. So I found that maybe if we could work a little more, like I would really like to reach out to you and work a little more with you on how we showcase impact for our volunteers to see, and say at the end of the year for our volunteers to look at and think, wow, we actually did so much, to have that kind of an effect. That would be like, that would probably be the only thing I change or request to change about this report. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anusha, for the comments. Well done again, Santhosh. So next we've got Shreya. Dalavis Ferry, you're calling from the UK. So is it afternoon? Is it in the UK? No, you're London.
It's still like, it's almost lunchtime in the
lunchtime.
UK.
Cool. So welcome. I think you came up with a very creative dashboard. So super excited to see your work. And then you're visionary, are you? You're a Tableau visionary. So that's an honor for you to join the community as well. So over to you, Shreya.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you both to Data Changemakers and Bhumi for the opportunity to volunteer, because in my current role, I don't really get that many opportunities to volunteer and make a difference. So it's nice that we have a space where we can help out others in the community. But I created this visualization, and I'd just like to share some of my thought process and the steps I took to create this. So when creating this visualization, the first thing I wanted to understand was the purpose of my dashboard. So,
Are you sharing your story? Are you sharing your screen? Because we can't see anything.
Oh, can you not see my screen?
No.
I can see.
Oh,
I can see it. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I
Can
did
you?
used to.
I
Is
was
it-
able to.
Yeah,
Can you
me
see it
too.
now? Brilliant. So I first wanted to think about the goal and the purpose of my dashboard. So based on the brief that Bhumi gave, with my dashboard, I wanted firstly volunteers to feel seen and celebrated, and to feel proud of the work that they're doing. I wanted the donors to be able to see the scale and reach of what Bhumi is doing as well. And I was hoping it could also be used by Bhumi and their internal team for fundraising, annual reports, any showcases, another way to highlight the impact of their volunteers. So the first thing I did was get started with data prep. So for data prep, I used Tableau Prep. And the reason I wanted to do this is to combine the corporate and civic events tables together. I noticed that there were lots of fields that weren't in common between both tables, but there were also fields that were in common. So the purpose of my cleaning was mainly to remove any nulls in the data sets, rename fields between both tables for consistency, so this would help me in the union step later down the line. Pivoting and grouping outcomes, so I noticed that I believe it was in one table, we had outcome 1, outcome 2, outcome 3. So by pivoting them and moving them all into one column, it almost lets you make better comparisons or see the scale of the outcomes themselves. And I also noticed there was some case issues with like the strings. So I wanted to make sure that they were all uniform, so converting them to either proper case or to uppercase. And while I was cleaning the data, I noticed that the outcomes had a lot of variance. Some included spelling mistakes, even though they were supposed to be the same thing. So I was wondering if maybe if you had like a Google form, perhaps, with pre-populated outcomes, maybe that could help the data cleaning process later down the line. But that's something you could explore different ways of how you could approach that process. But I think that's one thing that could really help data cleaning later down the line. In terms of wireframing, I used Figma to plan out the layout, plan out the design and layout. So as you can see, my wireframes, when I'm designing for myself, they're not super clear. They're usually very rough. It's more so that I understand the goal and I can try out a few different things before committing to the build in Tableau, which is a lot more time consuming. So you can see it looks pretty rough because I just used a pen tool to draw like a swirl, perhaps, maybe adding some circles, trying to understand the placement of where I'd want each of the charts to be or where I'd want the KPIs to lay. So you can see all of the different variations that led to the final product. And then I worked on the build in Tableau desktop. So when I'm building or wireframing, I tend to do them side by side because unless you go into the tool of your choice and start exploring the data, you don't really know which charts you can build. And once you're aware of what the data looks like and which charts you can build, that's when you can really start thinking about the design, the layout, where you'd want everything to be placed. So it was a lot of back and forth between Tableau Desktop, Figma, until I was happy with my layout or design, and then I committed to building it fully in Tableau Desktop. And based on the brief, I wanted to create something that was both inspiring and impactful, based on the 2 bullet points I've shown here from the brief. So with that, I'm going to quickly move into Tableau Public and give you a quick walkthrough of my viz. let's go full screen. So this is the final product that I came up with. At the beginning, I wanted to have a nice introduction. I used one of the taglines from Bhumi's website, which was volunteer, lead, inspire, followed by a description of what Bhumi is for anyone who's never heard of them before and is interested in understanding the scale of their impact. Then directly underneath it, I added a KPI overview. So in my head, I was previously, if you saw my wireframes, I was playing around with a lot more abstract ideas. But I wanted something that people could instantly quote during meetings. For example, if you're going to a donor and you want them to understand the scale of the impact, they can quickly see the total number of volunteers, total number of events, the hours volunteered, and some outcome metrics as well, such as lives impacted and waste cleaned. And this KPI overview can be filtered for civic, corporate, or all. So if I switch to all, you can see the full scale of impact within that time period. And you can also filter by cities as well. The second view I included was an event insights, because from the brief I understood that Bhumi wanted to be able to understand which events are more popular in certain months or try to identify some sort of seasonality. This was slightly difficult since we only had a year worth of data, but this is what I came up with as like a rough view. So you can see the total number of events, events by month, and then events by weekday. And then on the right-hand side, you can see all of the events listed, how many of those events basically happened, the average number of volunteers, the total volunteers, and how many cities participated. And how I'd ideally want this to work is, for example, if we filter to civic, you could select a month. So if we selected September, it would filter the view on the right, so you could see which events were most popular in September. And I think it could also be a nice way for potential volunteers to understand what they could do as part of Bhumi, and hopefully drive some inspiration here. And there's also a sort by parameter, so you can sort by number of events, average volunteers, total volunteers, and hopefully gain some insights that way as well. And then below, I wanted to make the data feel a bit more human. So I came up with a radial timeline, and it goes from 2024, so I think it was March 2024 to April 2025. And each of the flowers in this radial represents an event that took place on that day. And if you hover over, you can see the outcomes, and the flower is also sized by the quantity of the outcome as well. So essentially, the more change you make, the bigger the flower. And I thought this could be quite an inspiring visual for any volunteers. So in my head, I was also thinking this could be a good spin-off as like a certificate, perhaps. So if you filter to a specific volunteer, they can see just for themselves that the change they're making. And maybe at the end of the year, you present it to them. So that could be quite nice. And at the end, I wanted to add some call to action buttons. So you can join as a volunteer or donate for the cause, and it'll take you directly to those Bhumi links. Last thing I quickly want to touch upon is a few of my design decisions. So when I was deciding the layout of this visual, as you saw, I had a KPI section, which was very informative, but I also had a radial. And one of the things I was trying to determine is which section to put first. So radials, they're very visually striking, they catch your attention straight away, and it makes the viewer want to explore the dashboard or spend a bit more time in it. But they're not the easiest to interpret straight off the bat. Whereas KPIs, they deliver insights super quickly, they help you get a clear overview, but they don't always feel as human. So the balance I came up with this was to start by showing the measurable impact, because that helps establish trust quickly because you're seeing the scale of the impact right from the get-go, and then to introduce the more emotional, symbolic visuals after, so you can actually celebrate what's going on. And as for the giving hand imagery, that was inspired by Dan Ustaf. So that was actually my first time learning about this festival. I'm actually from India as well, but I grew up in the UK, so it wasn't a festival I actually partook in. But I noticed lots of hand imagery there, so that made its way into my dashboard as well. And if anyone is interested in building radials for their own dashboard, when I first got started with Tableau, this was one of my favorite visualizations by James Fox. And he goes through each of the calculations that you can make, even outside of Tableau. So I think it would be, you'd be able to replicate it in different BI tools, hopefully. I definitely recommend checking that out. But apart from that, thank you for listening and thank you for the opportunity again.
Wow, Shreya, it's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful design. I'm sure everybody would say the same. Also, like your thinking process. You started with the data prep and then your flow and then with the wireframes and then inspiration and even giving us goodies at the end with the radial stuff. So well done. Big clap for me. Well done, Anusha.
Yeah, thanks, Frederick. Yeah, Shreya, I thought your visualization was so complementary to Santosh's. Like it just it matches so well. Like I would show Santosh's dashboard to our leadership, but I would show your visualizations to our volunteers. And when I saw the radial with the flowers, I came up with so many ways I could use it. For example, I would probably do it for every year of Bhumi's existence and show how we've grown. That's something that came up to me straight away, that Bhumi's been around for 18 years and we started with like 20 volunteers. So if I start from there and I have a visual for every year, it would make such a stunning visual. And it's also something that I could take to donors or other interested volunteers to inspire them to donate for our volunteering programs, because to be honest, it's very hard to raise funds for volunteering programs. So when donors or other interested stakeholders see the outcome like this, it's very inspiring. So thank you for that. Yeah, I think like Santosh's was very like it was so well structured around understanding the data and what was working and what was not working, or when things were working. And yours beautifully complements it. So I would probably put the two together in one report, and it would really look. But the flower visualization was absolutely stunning, and I liked the summary, the outcome summary that you had, which just gives a nice glimpse of what we've achieved through the year, and then you can actually go down and see how how that how that impact came about, right? We started in the year and then we kept doing these events, and then this is where we've reached. So that was great. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I think that would be a really beautiful visualization, the one that you said, like having them as different years.
Yeah.
If you do make that, I would love to see how it turns out. Or if you need a hand with that, I
Absolutely.
can help.
Yeah, I might reach out to you. Yeah, thank you so much. We would love to work with you on that.
Yeah, cool.
We'll talk about it, but I think we'll have to we're going to have a follow-up with Anusha and Vanita next week, and it looks like there will be more follow-ups anyway, so watch the space. And then if you're interested, Shreya's got an amazing Tableau Public profile with a lot of very beautiful vises as well. Not only Bhumi's one, but many others. So she's an amazing designer. Next.
Yeah, and thank you, Shreya, because as I'm seeing you, I'm thinking, oh, a lot of this applies to data change makers as we start, because it's the same thing. We have a volunteer base. We need to show the impact. So lots of my mind is just spinning. So thank you so much.
I'm glad it's spinning, Anita. Next, we've got Elena. Different tool again. This one will be showcasing Looker Studio. So Elena, you're based in Barcelona, in Spain.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Coming up. Yeah.
Okay, great. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really very happy to participate. So I will quickly go into and walk you into my dashboard. So yes, I'm based in Barcelona, and my tool is Looker. And what I have been trying to do is working with corporate volunteering data only, and provide something minimalist and easy to understand, and at the same time to empower the users, different stakeholders to get their own insights if they wish to. So it's quite self-explanatory and also interactive. So everything is actually cross-filtering. So what we see first, just one second, is the main numbers behind the corporate volunteering. So already I was first of all thinking about the volunteers, so they can see the impact from their work. So we already see overall volunteers participated and volunteering hours like highlighted, but also we have information on events and cities, and then there you have filters, so we can choose anything we wish to. And also, like at the very beginning, I would like volunteers and the rest of stakeholders see their impact from the event of their choice. For example, if we go in here and see cleanup, so we already see on the right. So what was the impact of this kind of event? Yeah, how many waste was collected and so on. So we can click anything and see. Well, the most, for example, popular event was dia painting. So whatever we choose, we would see immediately the impact created, and up here also how many volunteers participated, how many hours were dedicated to this, and how many cities actually participated as well. Also, I wanted to add the average volunteers, because as we can see, sometimes it's not the same, yeah, how many volunteers participated in the total events, and what was actually like the highest average. So actually, well, Looker will permit you to sort it by yourself. So we can actually go and change the how it was sorted in here. Yeah, so for example, if we would like to know what was the most popular event by average, so this was actually microgreen workshop, and well, here we can click and see also its impact if we wish. So that's why also I like Looker, so it can help you to explore your own ideas quite quickly. So you can change the sorting, you can add or take out additional metrics. So for example, we can only see the average, yeah, and it would be quite quick, and then we reset. So if we go a bit more into exploring, so here we see also the monthly volunteer engagement, so the seasonability, yeah, and immediately we can see that actually October was the top month for corporate volunteering, with a lot of events, and so many volunteers participated, and also we can see here volunteering hours. Yes, and we see, for example, that January was quite low on the events, and then so again we have some big moments, well, at March, and for example last April as well. Yeah, and sometimes here we already can see that well, it also there are different concepts. Yes, the participation of volunteers and how many hours they engaged, they dedicated to the activity. So again, we can highlight something which we are interested, or change a bit we can take out, for example, hours and see only this, and so on. So I think this one is really nice if you would like to explore the seasonability and see maybe for the future planning what month we need to be more prepared, or maybe to think about that some months we were very low on participation and maybe we can raise more events. But of course, it is also related with the holidays period and so on. Next, we have most frequent events and events by type of implementation, if we would like to explore in here also, yes. But well, it's for some stakeholders it can be important as well. And again, well, we can check for something which is in our scope of interest and see, yeah, immediately everything else will be again filtered, yes, in the whole dashboard. All right, yeah. And then so we have here some more information about the impacts. Yes, now all together. Well, right now we can see it's by number of impact, but again we can sort it in a different way. And here I would like to also represent like how events actually are related with their results, but the whole picture. Yes, if up there we can choose one event and see its impact. So in here, hovering, we can see all of the events and their impacts in here all together. And also we have here the map with volunteer participation in the cities. So we again can explore it and see, for example, what was happening in Bai, and then we will have immediately the distribution, yes, for this city in particular. So, well, for any stakeholder, it can be valuable, or if I'm a volunteer from this city and I would like to explore a bit more about it, what was happening, what events were most popular. So I will see it in here. And then we can reset. And in here also some more information about volunteer participation by event. Yeah, this is not about seasonability, but it's about how many volunteers participated in each of the event. Well, of course, for example, we see the top event was dia painting, but also it was top because there were so many events. Yeah, and then we can add another metric which would help us to know actually, well, to see something different. Yeah, if we're gonna speak about the average number. So, for example, we see that the top event, if we check by average, would be audiobook recording. So that means there were not that many events, but it had a lot of participants by event. So yes, and again we can sort it in a different way. Now it's sorted by number of events, but we can go and see also, yeah. So again, we see here the same data, yeah, but organized in a different way, and it can provide us different insights, depend on what we are searching for and who we are, yeah. And here we have a bit more information, well, probably more for internal stakeholders, yeah, if we wish. So it's also in here. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer.
Thanks, Elena. It's cool to see your tech and also the different BI tool works. We saw 3 different tools. I like the design and your tech. I think it's really good, nice design. And I know you dropped out, but it looks like you're back. Your wallet
back.
is a bit flaky at the airport, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a bit of dip in signal, but I'm back, and I think I followed most of what Elena shared, but then I had been through her dashboard in detail, so I feel like I will be able to share, my thoughts, even if I missed parts of your presentation. I'm sorry, Elena, I had a patchy network.
No
So
worries.
yeah. So I found this dashboard also very interesting for the different kind of visuals that and the different how do I put it? Like Santosh's, the axes or the way of looking at the data was very different. And since you focused on corporate volunteering, it actually gave a sense for maybe how the civic volunteering data could be improved or I would also like to address something that Shreya brought up, right? That maybe we could have a Google form for so this, when I was looking at some of these dashboards, it's also gave me an idea as to how to standardize the data and to make it consistent so that we are better able to report on consolidated impact because we do have different events for civic volunteering and corporate volunteering events, but your visual kind of gave me an idea of what we can do to improve the data in civic volunteering. That's why that was one of the reasons I picked it. And I think my favorite chart was the monthly volunteer engagement chart because it was very telling in many ways. It gives you a very good snapshot. And again, it kind of nudges you where to deep dive, right? That is what I liked about it. It gives you a great snapshot. So this was the monthly volunteer engagement was my favorite. And the second one I really liked was events by type of implementation. Because if I was looking at it from the point of view of someone who's planning the implementation, it's again very telling because it says that consultants are implementing a certain kind of event and the direct implementation is happening across all events, but NGO partners are implementing certain kinds of events. So it gives us that insight as well, which I liked a lot. I think maybe the only feedback I had is, if I would put a more the impact from events wheel that you have. I would figure out how to make it more impactful to share with volunteers. Like if I share it with a volunteer, I would like them to go, wow, this is so that's my only feedback on this. Thank you so much, Elena, for the time and the effort.
Okay, thank you very much for the feedback. Thank you.
Thanks again, Elena. And Anusha, I'm glad that you also learned from your own data through that process and you can improve the way you collect data. And that's also cool to have nice visual, but also learning from your own data sets.
So yes. I've been making notes. I've been making notes looking at the visualization because it gives you a sense for what is missing as well.
Yeah.
When you're looking at some, So I've been making notes as to what we need to do to improve our data collection, standardize it a little better.
Yes. And we can talk later, like if there's ways we can help as well, bring in more technical, data engineers, collection, whatever. I think that's the next step. Yeah, that's good. We're going back, we're doing zigzags. I think we did India, UK, Spain. Now we're in Nepal, Kathmandu. Sujan, I think in your submission, you say you're a beginner. I don't believe you. Your visit is so great. You can't be a beginner. Over to you, Sujan.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for allowing us to participate. This is actually my first time I'm making a dashboard for someone and actually presenting a dashboard to the stakeholders. So is my screen visible?
Yes, we can see the screen, yeah.
Yes. So the dashboard is divided into three views. The first page focuses on the corporate volunteering part, and the second page is focused on the civic volunteering part. And the third page is basically a consolidated form of the first and second pages, but it actually focuses on the outcomes that we have achieved from the events. So first there's a line chart showing the number of corporate volunteering events conducted. It shows the number of events conducted by Bhumi month-wise. After that, there are a number of volunteers that Bhumi expected and the number of actual volunteers that participated. After that, there's a There's a KPI card that shows the results achieved through the activities conducted by Bhumi. They can be filtered, and like we can see, one of the activities was abacus making. So when we click this, we can see 44 results were achieved, and the event was conducted at Pune and Gurgaon, and the implementers were Nikita and Ram. So after that, the chart shows the average number of volunteers per event. So if we filter through the results of the activities, we can see that the volunteers per event also changes, and the cities and the implementers are also shown as per the results. After that, there's a line chart showing the volunteer hours, the total number of volunteer hours given back to the community through the activities conducted by Bhumi. And in the right side of the chart, top 5 event implementers are shown. For example, from the filter above, there are the names of events conducted, which can be filterable. Suppose a day with Builderly. We can see that the event implementers were Ram, Resma, Maria, and Rahul, and the events were conducted in Pune, Bangalore, and Mumbai. So if we remove this filter, so at the end, there's a heat map table showing city-wise count of events and city-wise participation and city-wise duration of events conducted. So after that, the next view is of civic volunteering. The visualizations are identical to the corporate volunteering part. The only difference is the duration of events, which has been grouped to less than 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours, and 4+ hours. It shows the amount of duration of events, the overall duration of events conducted by Bhumi. So the other parts are identical to the corporate volunteering part. It includes a number of events conducted, the total number of voluntary participation, and the outcomes through the events, and the average volunteers per event, and the total volunteer hours conducted. So the last view is the outcome overview. The first chart shows the consolidated form of total number of corporate voluntary events and the total number of civic voluntary events in a single chart. And at the right, you can see the top 5 corporate partners by volunteering hours. So these are filtered by corporate partners as well. So you can see if we filter by C1, we can see the number of events conducted through C1 where direct events were 5, and the city-wise events conducted and city-wise results achieved through this corporate partner. So this city-wise heat map table shows the results of corporate volunteering and results of civic volunteering. The colors show the amount of results or outcomes achieved through the activities. And this bar chart shows the number of events by event implementation type. We can see that the most number of events were conducted directly, and below that we can see top 5 volunteer hours based on cause. So the top 5 volunteer hours cause wise were environmental cause, community welfare, animal welfare, and community welfare. So the last heat map shows the impact or outcome and the results in corporate volunteering or civic volunteering part. So these outcomes have been grouped because the list in both corporate and events overview was similar, so they have been grouped. I'll show you the grouping part. So I've grouped the similar types of results like for menstrual kits made, for number of blankets distributed, number of comfort kits made. I've grouped them into care kits made. Like for number of children benefit, they have been grouped into children benefited. For results related to clothes, they have been grouped to clothes distributed, and so on. Yeah, so every view contains filters based on city, month, year, and event types. Yeah, so here in the outcome overview, we can filter through cause as well. So which cause? So if you see annual welfare, we can see the number of volunteering hours spent and number of cities the event were conducted on, and the number of events conducted throughout the month. Yeah, so this is it. Thank you.
Wow, so John, amazing. Yeah, as I said, I can't believe you're a beginner. I think there's a understanding yourself. Amazing design, very good presentation as well, Sujan. If that's the first time you present in public, do it again. Come back to the next event, but yeah, you're natural as well. So well done. I love your work. Anusha, over to you.
Just a second, there's an announcement. I'll wait for it to be done. Just 1 minute.
I like the color scheme. Yeah, you go, Vanita.
I was gonna say, even professionals haven't done such great work. I've worked with so many developers in different organizations, and for them to come to this, it takes years, or they don't even know how to think and put all this together. So like really great, fantastic.
Thank you. And yeah, sorry, there was an announcement and I thought it would be very noisy. Yeah, but completely agree with Vanita. I don't think I would, if I had seen this, I would have said that it was done by someone who's saying they were a beginner. For me, what I like the most is the one-page format, right? It's so simple, it's so clean, and it's easy to take to donors to show. And the filters are also relevant across the 3 tabs. So I think what I liked the most was like a one-page format, which is clean and simple, and it shows you the data that you want to see, and it allows you to drill down using the filters. So that was what I liked the most about it. And like I said, this is something, if I had to take it to a donor, then I would definitely pick something like this. I think, I didn't have any specific points for improvement, but considering the idea that it is fitting into one page, but maybe having a bit more axes of comparison is the only thing that I would suggest. But then I also realized that would make the report little bigger and a bit bloated, which takes away from that thing of having it on one page, clean, simple, direct. So that's what I like the most about your report, Sujan. And it's a very compelling report to take to somebody like a donor, because they would be able to see what we've done, where we've done, how much we've done. It's all on one page. So that makes it very easy to present a picture, an overall picture to someone. Yeah. Thank you, Sujan, for your work and for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for the feedback, Anusha. And as I mentioned already, we're going to catch up with Anusha next week to talk about the next steps. So for the volunteers on the call, we'll contact you. If there's looks like there will be follow-up work. I suspect Anusha would probably have a big board and then draw on piece of paper what she wants, and then someone have to come up to like a real dashboard, maybe. Anusha, do you want to give us like a overall feedback about the whole process? Because I was new to you as well. Like general impression about the experiment and the volunteers kind of work as a general kind of project.
I think this is a great initiative for multiple reasons. So at Bhumi, we have had direct feedback from our donors saying that we want better reporting. And, sometimes you end up being so focused on just doing the job that we forget that it's just as important to tell the story, because it can have a cascading impact. It doesn't even have to directly benefit Bhumi, right? It can create impact anywhere else as well, inspire someone else to just start volunteering. It doesn't have to be with Bhumi. So, and we've always found it difficult to tell our volunteering story because like telling an education story is actually a lot easier, because you can show that so many children had this much improvement, and then you can make videos where you see, you show children learning. It makes an impact. It makes it appeals a lot to donors, to other stakeholders as well. But we've always found it difficult to tell our volunteering story. And I've seen such a rich variety in all the submissions, I wrote to Frederick and I wrote on the group as well that I found something of value in every submission, and I put that in my feedback. There's something that I could learn about how we should show our data or how we should report our work from almost every submission. And by the same process, I learned about how we can improve our data, like what is it, even the question of the participant data was great, but there is so much more that we could do to make it better and to make it better for reporting and to tell the story. Like, I think at the end of the day, you want to tell the story, and this process has helped me so much with that, I'm sure. So I'm going to be doing an internal presentation in Bhumi, and I'll probably be showing almost every one of these reports that we've created, so that there is inspiration for all our teams as well to see that, okay, this is some way we can use. It doesn't have to be only for our volunteering data, like across some other programs as well, we may be able to use this visualization. So I found both the process and the outcome to be very beneficial. And it really opened up a lot of new avenues of thought for myself. And I'm pretty sure if I take this to my team. So I had another of my colleagues who works in the civic volunteering team peer review this with me while we chose the top 4. Because she's the one who's going back and reporting to volunteers and telling them about the work. And she was also blown away. She's added some of her comments on the sheet, but we had a call and she was like, this is so great. I never thought we could showcase our work like this. So it's been inspiring for us as well, just as the team that's enabling the volunteers, it's been very inspiring for us as well.
We have to quote you on that, Anusha. We have to do a blog and then quote you on that. I think that's amazing feedback.
Absolutely.
We've gone over, but if people have questions, so just quickly, I don't know if you see my screen, the next project is starting up in the 5th of September, No Kill Colorado, a US-based non-for-profit animal welfare advocacy group. So different topic, but not same struggle, but they want to storytell, they want to tell a story. It's amazing. So any quick question from the audience, from people presenting or people just listening? And I might just stop sharing just in case